Media reports today say Hamas rejected the latest ceasefire offer from the U.S. Their potential refusal allows Israel to continue its military campaign in Gaza. Here's the latest on this and other stories. Israeli troops push further into northern Gaza, warning civilians to get out of harm's way. U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff's ceasefire and hostage deal would reportedly lead to Hamas freeing 10 of the remaining living hostages in the first week of the 60-day ceasefire. In exchange, Israel would free more than 1,000 Palestinian prisoners. A major sticking point, Hamas wants guarantees Israel won't return to fighting after the ceasefire. But Israel's prime minister says he wants the fighting to resume and continue until Hamas is eliminated in Gaza. Meanwhile, the Israeli government has made an historic decision to approve 22 new communities in the biblical heartland of the Jewish nation, Judea and Samaria, also known as the West Bank. This will help block Palestinians from forming a state in this area. And according to Defense Minister Israel Katz, it also provides a buffer for the nation's security. As he put it, Jewish settlement in Judea and Samaria serves as a vital security barrier for Israel's major population centers. We must do everything in our power to expand and reinforce this protective shield. It was the first volley in the government's effort to head off another unilateral move for a Palestinian state by some Western powers, including France. Next month, France's president at a summit in New York City will push for most of the world to altogether recognize a Palestinian state. Israeli Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar warned that such a declaration would reward the Hamas terrorists who committed the October 7th atrocities. He added, unilateral moves against Israel will be met with unilateral Israeli measures.
We will not get any dictates from outside with regard to our national security.
This fits with the foreign minister's statements this week that if outside nations push to unilaterally recognize a Palestinian state in Judea and Samaria, Israel will respond by declaring sovereignty over more and more of the area. The Trump administration is warning that Syria may face full-scale civil war within weeks. But after visiting the front lines, CBN's Chuck Holton reports the war has already begun.
Fighting rages across northern Syria, with Turkish-backed forces clashing with Kurdish units at the Euphrates River, while sectarian battles erupt in the south. All this as a new regime under a former al-Qaeda commander struggles to unify the country.
It is our assessment that, frankly, the Transitional Authority, given the challenges they're facing, are maybe weeks, not many months, away from potential collapse and a full-scale civil war of epic proportions.
On the ground, the battle has already started.
This is the Tishreen Dam behind me, and you might have heard about it in the news recently because it's been the scene of some pretty heavy fighting in this area between the Turkish-backed forces and the Kurds over on this side. Now, the Kurds hold the dam right now, and there's a ceasefire that just recently came into effect, which they're hoping will hold. The only problem is the Turks aren't abiding by the ceasefire, and there are still drone strikes and artillery shelling happening on a daily basis out here. That puts the future of this vital piece of infrastructure in doubt.
In daytime and nighttime, we hear the airstrike destroyed all this building. They never stop.
Syrian Democratic forces respond by fortifying cities across the region, digging tunnels, building barriers, and erecting camouflaged walkways to evade drone strikes.
In urban combat, you don't want to walk down the street because you'll get shot. So what the fighters do is they break holes in the walls like this to go between buildings without exposing themselves on the street. And you can see all the destruction this causes. But look what I just found. There's a tunnel entrance right there that leads to the miles and miles of tunnels. And these tunnels have been built all over this area. Take a look down there. It goes way down.
the HTS and the regime Assad army, and even the FSA and all of these people, they attacked us by air attacks. And the Turks are doing the same. And HTS, with Jolani, we didn't change nothing. There's no difference.
The Kurds fought and lost over 12,000 men defeating ISIS. Now they say the transitional government resembles the very caliphate they helped to destroy.
I can't believe them because they prefer now ISIS. When U.S. support the new government, for me it's so surprised. Why they do that? You know him, what he done before now.
We will stay fighting until we have a real farm that contains us all as Syrians, Christian Syrians, Syriac Syrians, Armenian Syrians, Kurdish Syrians, and all of us. It's Syria, it's our country.
Dave Eubank of the Free Burma Rangers, a humanitarian group operating in Syria since 2016, stresses the importance of continued U.S. support to prevent widespread bloodshed.
The Euphrates River is the westernmost front line for Syrian Democratic Forces, and they're holding that very tenuously. And I think without international support, just because of Turkish air power alone, the Syrian National Army will push the Kurds out, which means the Kurds, the Christians, the Yazidis, other minorities will be slaughtered.
As the U.S. reduces troops in the region, Kurds in the northeast grow increasingly nervous and distrustful of the new regime.
Everyone is grateful and hopeful the U.S. will stay. The United States cannot solve the problem here, nor should it. But our presence has and continues to create a space for people to solve these problems. It creates a space where the Kurds, the Christians, the Muslims, the Yazidis are working together, and they're working together pretty well here in the SDF-controlled area.
From northeast Syria, I'm Chuck Holton for CBN News.